I know how to make money. And see, the problem is this. There's a lot of guys out there, if guys are watching, you guys don't know how to make money. Let's be honest. Like either you have a job that you're limited, own your own business, or you have mental issues, focusing, or problems inside of you, maybe lack confidence. You cannot make money.
A man needs a woman that can hold him down. What does it take to like build with somebody like Christian, right? He's coming with all of this quote unquote success, and some people may say like baggage with obviously the way that he kind of came in, right? Yes, building the business is cool, but what are the qualities of a woman that you had to really get into the next phase of your guys' relationship and leading to business?
All right, you guys, we're back. So now, as you guys saw in the first episode, how did Christian close the deal? Oh my God, the top producer, how did he close the deal? Obviously,
the biggest deal of his life.
That's honestly true. The angel that saved his life. So,
biggest deal.
Chris, can you tell us more about how it transformed?
Teach us how to close,
in
man.
the office, man.
Teach us how to close.
Well, that one you have to pay for that. I'm kidding. I think we mentioned that earlier that I think we realized we liked each other, and like Pablo said, our values were there.
Yeah.
God wasn't the number one at that time, I think, because like she said, she was on her own place and I was in my own place. But I think once we started liking each other, and then once we started dating each other, and we started working together, first she started working with me as a buyer's agent. That's when we became friends. Mm-hmm. But as we started dating, this girl's very smart. She got her broker's license like within, I think, a year of working with me or less. She was already applying for her broker's license, right? And she passed it the first time around. She got it. She passed it, and I would make fun of her because she was like, "I'm gonna get my broker's license." I'm like, "What are you gonna get your broker's license? Like, you don't need it." And she's like, "I just want to get it." And I'm like making fun of her, and I'm like, "Well, you're gonna be a broker and this and that." Like I would make fun of her, right? And back then that song was out, the Gold Digger song.
Kanye.
You're not messing, and I would be like, "You're not messing with no broker," and I would make fun of her, right? So I think that pissed her off more. She's like, "Well, I'm gonna get my broker's license." It's funny how things happen, because so then we ended up leaving that company. We ended up getting our own spot. I actually moved to Remax at that time, and we started our own team. And basically, she came work with me. We started our own team at that time, and she took over all the operations. Realized that even though she could sell, the way this business was going to grow better, in a better way, was that I focus on sales. I love sales. I'm good with people. I'm good going out there and hunting for business. And Jeanette was very good in the operations side. So
I have questions on that, because what time, like how long did it take for you guys? Like we know the end result, right? We know where we're at now, but like in that time of trying to figure out, because I think one of the things that I struggled in a previous relationship of mine was like both in the same industry and we both wanted to be in sales, right? I think defining roles, which we'll get into, but like what struggles was there a struggle, or did you guys just immediately like surrender to the fact like, hey, I'm going to focus on sales and marketing, or I'm going to focus on operations? Or was there like a time where it was hard to let go of kind of like the ego in a way, right?
I think, and then maybe we can piggyback on what I say, but I think, once we were married, we realized, we're together. We're doing this together.
Like we're one.
It doesn't matter who makes more money, because we're one. And just so you know, from the beginning, this is the conversations we had. We were about one bank account. We share everything.
From the beginning?
From the beginning. I know couples now is like, okay, I'm going to have my own bank account. I'll make my own money. You make your own money. And we're all separate. I don't believe in that personally, right?
Okay.
So it was like, it's us together. So she didn't care. Like, if she gets a buyer or a seller and she can say, well, I want to go make the money myself, she doesn't need to, because she gives it to me and I slam it. I've been doing this for longer. And I know she's taking care of the financials, the back office, the staff, our home. We want to eventually have kids. Yeah. So it was all the planning, right? Having a good environment at home is important.
The weekends was a huge deal for me when we had the kids.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what, if I'm still in sales, sales, you have to be available at any single time, like Saturdays and Sundays.
Wow.
So that was something that was like, oh yeah, I think it's better off to have a schedule now before the kids come to the picture. And that was like the best decision.
And how long was it before you guys ultimately ended up getting married and then having kids? Like, because you guys built the business before marriage, right?
We started working together right before marriage, but we got married 2008, right?
Wow.
We
You guys
opened our,
met in 2006, married in 2008.
so we met in
Yeah.
2006. We opened our new office. We had a little satellite office 2007, right at the crash, dude. Right at the freaking crash.
Wow.
Both of us in real estate.
You
real
couple,
Yeah.
you're still fresh between you two as well.
Yeah.
2 years.
We actually had just got engaged.
We had
and then
just got
2008,
engaged.
things got very, very tough.
Yeah, I was pretty broke. I mean, she didn't know I was that broke, right? Because I was riding on Mercedes, I had my Rolex, you know, showing like I was like making all this money. And I was making money, but I mean, look, and you guys haven't experienced this, but go from like, okay, and I was living paycheck to paycheck because I was just used to partying so much and spending so much money stupidly. But go from like, not a lot of people were living this way. Like I got like 7 transactions in escrow, and I'm gonna make $100,000 in the next 30 days, so I'm good. And I know I can produce and I can make money. Next thing you know, the market turns, and out of those 7 transactions, only one's gonna close. The other 6 were all doing 80-20 loans, right? Stated income, and that got taken out like that. Like it went from one day to the other. They just said no more loans, 80-20s stated income loans. So like literally, you went from like, oh shit, I had $100,000 coming in, I'm good, I'm gonna be okay, and to like, oh shit, I got 10 grand coming in, and I'm gonna be broke, right?
Now, I'm thinking this is key because we talk about the good, right? Everyone talks about the good, but now we're getting into like the part where, like the crash. Now struggles are coming in. You guys are still new, and it's like talk about weathering those storms. I think a lot of people could really resonate with a lot of that stuff because nothing is picture perfect.
No.
You know, so how what advice could you guys give people that how to weather storms like that one? Like that was, that one's huge that everyone talks about.
That is huge.
How did you guys weather through that?
Well, we were engaged in 2008, and then
we married 2008.
well,
In
well
2007.
at the same time because we got
Yeah.
married in June.
Yeah.
And then, like he said, he didn't want to express to me that he didn't have money in the bank account at one point, like to make the payment of the mortgage of his
It's hard
house.
as a man.
You know what I mean? And I was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And I don't even know how you told me, or if I don't know how it went.
I think one day I just told you, and even because she paid for our wedding.
What's up?
Because she had savings, I had shit. Like I had no
See?
money in the bank, right?
So for me, was like, I started dating him, and he's like the gentleman that he always pays. He always does this, but right. So me I was saving. I lived at home. I'm saving. So when he finally was like, "What's going on?" Of course, I'm in the business. I know that there's no houses to be sold, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then he's like, "I haven't paid my mortgage. I don't know if it was 2 or 3 months." And then I said, "It's okay. I mean, we're one. And how much is it?" And then he was saying, "I think I'll call your dad, Chismosa." And I was like,
We never went to my dad for help, but she calls my dad.
"Yeah, and I think and I told him, and I think
Send the money to
with
pay
2
2
months?
months, I think.
2 months of rent. And then I think I paid the third
No,
one.
mortgage.
The mortgage, I'm sorry, the mortgage. And then the third one I paid because I said, "Hello, I mean, I'm not going to just be with you in the good times."
Mhm.
And we had a destination wedding, and I said, I got it, because I had savings. Things have happened, right?
I think that's so that's dope.
Like,
That's
look, her ring,
quality,
her ring. I had money to get a ring for her, but I wanted to get her a good ring, so I went to get a loan. I still remember, I got like a 25% interest to get this ring. She still wears it now. It was a nice 2 carat, 2.2 carat.
Show the camera. That's beautiful.
But I have no money, so I got a loan for like 20 grand. I remember I was pretty broke, and then I spent like most of it for the ring, and I paid a couple bills, and then that's when I proposed to
And
her.
I had no clue.
And she had no clue.
I got a question, Christian, because we got a lot of fellas that watch our podcast, females as well, right? But a lot of gentlemen, and sometimes it's like, I want to build the business first, or I want to reach a certain income, but when it comes to engagement, popping the question, this was a time where market was going down, the tornado effect, you got hit by the torpedo essentially, right?
Yeah.
And I heard a mentor say one time recently, I forget who it was, is that when you're in your darkest times, that's when the you could really write how you write down exactly how you feel during those times and rewrite that narrative.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you're down, your woman's gonna show up. Right? You'll see when she's around, and then when
it's a good time to see what the woman really is about.
What she's about. Exactly.
Let's not sugarcoat anything. I mean, there's a lot of times where women probably could have bounced. This guy
Jeanette could have easily been out.
easily. So,
but But like finding the
Never
courage of like, you know what? No, I'm gonna ask her to be my wife.
Yeah.
Like talk about that.
You know what, bro? I think it was God's timing because I think it was, we had dated for about a year now, and I knew she was the one. I mean, I knew that she was the one, so I knew that was the next step. Like I wanted to marry her, and I dated a lot of women.
Okay, they get the point.
Okay,
I love the honesty. I love it.
Did you have special effects?
No, I dated a lot of women, and I knew she was the one. Like I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care whatever happens. I gotta change. I gotta be a different person. I gotta
Get my shit together, and I gotta propose. And I remember telling her, I said, look, I remember when I got engaged with her, I made a lot of promises. I told her I was gonna do certain things, like we were gonna do, big things in real estate, and that we're gonna have a good life. And I had to just work with my addictions and my problems internally, and I think overall it's been a blessing. We've grown a lot. We built a business. A lot of the stuff that we talked about that we're gonna do. Because I remember one time we were in Long Beach. I don't even remember this, but I remember one time we were in Long Beach and we were talking about goals and stuff. I remember telling her we're gonna own a company. We're gonna have an office with a bunch of agents, and I'm gonna make this much money. And I don't remember that.
You were painting the vision.
And
you were painting the vision. That's beautiful. Yeah,
it happened. It happened. Maybe I don't know. 5 years later, that it's started to grow. But
yeah,
I painted the vision, and now we're like a pretty big company, and it's beautiful to see us now running it and working together and having a good balance.
Can I say something?
Oh, please.
Like you said, a lot of guys watch your podcast.
Yeah.
But Christian, how did you get the courage? Actually, that's a good question. In that moment in your life when,
everything was going down.
How did you get the guts to be like, I'm closing the deal? Because it's a risk.
Well, look, we
well, it's scary.
We married.
If I'm like, no.
We married 2008. The good thing is this. Look, my problem, because I knew how to make money.
Right.
I always been very good in real estate. I started making six figures at 24 years old. Bought my first house at 25, and I was really good in real estate. Like I was selling like crazy, right? I've always been really good. My problem was not that I could not make money. My problem was that I had too many addictions, and I was just focusing on partying and wasting my
distractions.
The minute I met her, and I stopped doing the bad stuff, then I started making money right away. So at no time I did not make money. It was that I stopped doing all those. I broke all those bad habits, and my focus became only about Jeanette and making money and taking care of my family. And eventually our daughter was born, and then it was even a bigger motivation, and it was all about making money. So I know how to make money. And see, the problem is this: there's a lot of guys out there. If you guys are watching, you guys don't know how to make money. Let's be honest. Like either you have a job that you're limited. You own your own business,
really
or maybe
good.
you own your own business, but you have issues,
Or the motivation.
Focusing.
mental issues, focusing, or problems inside of you, maybe lack confidence.
You know what I think it is
You
too?
cannot make money.
You know what I think it is too is the lack of setting the priorities.
That too.
Well, the distractions that Christian talks about too, like how often is it that we're bombarded with the distractions that really center us away from the focus?
And I want to say something too, because I see like the generations now, I feel like they're taking longer to make that step. It seems like, we have family and stuff, and we're like, oh my gosh. And that sometimes people want everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I feel like, what's the beauty of that? And you don't have life guarantee. You don't know. You're
so
thinking, oh my
good.
gosh, in 5 years how do you know you're going to be here? Or that person's going to be here? Or your mom, your dad that you want in your wedding. We were so blessed, like at that time. It's sad and beautiful that it was a destination wedding, but we had everybody that we loved the most in that wedding. And a lot of them are not here anymore. So when we look at those pictures, it's just like, oh my gosh, super special. So I just always tell the younger generation, what are you waiting for? Sometimes that is actually what you need to take it to the next level.
Now, also, I was very clear of what I wanted when the woman that I wanted to marry, right? And everything checked with Jeanette. Like it was like, I had like Latina, Spanish speaker.
That's right.
Great cook. Wait, that one.
He totally messed up on that one.
Yes.
Since he thought I knew how to cook because my parents owned restaurants. He never asked.
That's an honest mistake from a guy. I mean,
Yeah, no.
He never-
I gotta stick up for my boy on that one. That could be an honest mistake. That could be an honest mistake.
Latina, Mexicana, right?
Beautiful. We got along. Good values, good family values. I met her family. I mean, it was all. She was the one.
Now, Chris, for guys listening as well, like to add to them, right? Who maybe are single and don't have someone. Did you find that? Did you make that checklist beforehand, and then you found Jeanette, or was it more like, you know what, I like a lot of these things?
Yeah, I mean, again, I dated and I had girlfriends, and you know, typically this would happen. Jeanette knows, like, I had girlfriends. Typically, they'll go 3 years, and then at that, it always happens on the third year. Like, okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Patterns.
Let's get married. Are we gonna go forward? And like, I had back-to-back girls that were wanting to get married with me, right? And then I was like, she's not the one. And I think a lot of men just settle. Okay, fine. I'll just go ahead and
How did you
That's a
know?
good one, wow.
How did you know she wasn't the one?
I wasn't feeling it. Like I was kind of looking around. I was cheating. I was not a faithful person. That was also my issue, right? With my ex-girlfriends, that, you know, they were not strong with me. I could do whatever I wanted. I needed someone strong. I needed someone that was like, no, you like, this is not okay.
Accountability.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's something for women. You know, you got to be strong with your man, because if your man's like, you got to let me be me, and I do what I want, and don't tell me what to do, and then they're doing all kinds of bad stuff, that's not the right person for you.
I like
person
that.
loves you or that
Yeah.
wants you, they're gonna do whatever it takes to get you. And
I
to
want
keep you happy.
to hear more about that, because I think that's something super important. Like, a man needs a woman that can hold him down, right? But it also takes, Armando and Jeanette, I want to hear from you in the following segment, because what does it take to, like, build with somebody like Christian, right? He's coming with all of this quote unquote success. And some people may say, like, baggage with obviously the way that he kind of came in, right? But, like, how do you hold down a man? And what I would like is for our female audience to get female perspective of, like, yes, building the business is cool, but what are the qualities of a woman that you had to really kind of get into the next phase of your guys' relationship and leading to business and all that? And we'll hear from Jeanette in the following segment. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and let us know, like, from a guy's perspective, this is a little bit more towards the guys. What do you guys think, right? Let's hear from the female's perspective on the next episode. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one.